happens in many cases is that we start talking about things that we have heard from somebody else, not necessarily making an effort to learn them ourselves. And therefore, if you ask me a question of what this means, I have to be ready and prepared to give you an answer that is intelligent, that is accurate, that is cogent, and more importantly, that is, what the truth is. Yeah. Right? And that's what sales is all about.
Isn't it? People don't know that.
People don't know that, but it's about telling stories, and it's about revenue kinetics with Michael Goodman from Revenue Kinetics.
Yes, indeed.
How you doing, my man?
I'm so happy to be here. How are you?
We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs, such as my main man, Michael Goodman.
Well, how fun for me to be involved in this project today. I have to say that not only do I get to be an entrepreneur, but I get to support entrepreneurs, so I'm entrepreneurial squared in this. So let's have twice the fun today.
Is hip to be square. There we go.
And I've been called square more than once.
So tell us about what your company does, my friend.
Revenue Kinetics specifically works with business owners who are not seeing the revenue that they would like to see from their sales efforts. In many cases, the owner is the sales manager of 1 to 5 salespeople, and they aren't really sure what's happening in their world. They don't have the infrastructure in place to effectively manage the sales team. So Revenue Kinetics provides the tools, the coaching, the infrastructure to take revenue from sort of some mishmash of whatever those salespeople over there are doing into scalable, repeatable, and predictable revenue year over year.
Why are we not doing that?
Why is a many-faceted question, but I think what I see the most are that people come out of whatever companies that they're working in, and they have been great at doing some kind of technology something or some kind of technical development of a product. Right. They found that they have some customers who want them to produce it because they like them. They go open their own business, and then after a while decide they want more business and hire a salesperson without really understanding what a salesperson does. And when they don't understand, they do some of that sales stuff over there. And the salesperson gets started and they develop revenue, which the owner then gets dependent on, but doesn't really know what he's doing. Doesn't really know what the salesperson is doing.
So tell me a little bit about this. All right, let me or clarify something for me. So when you're saying that the salesperson doesn't know what he is doing, my understanding is that I am the owner and I'm giving you a script, and this is the pillow that you need to sell. Just go sell. Just make this disappear from my inventory and give me money in exchange.
Yes, you're almost on target with this. You as the owner probably don't really have a background in sales yourself. You're a great technical developer of whatever it is you are producing, and people like it as such that you felt confident to open up your own business. Salespeople have an idea what they're supposed to be doing, but the owner doesn't know what the salesperson is really doing at depth. They don't know how to create it as scalable, repeatable, predictable revenue, and because they don't know how to do that, they just say, go do some of that sales stuff over there. And from that, they give up control of the sales structure.
They give up control to whom?
The salesperson.
To the salesperson. So now you become dependent on the salesperson.
Yes.
For your livelihood?
For your revenue.
For your revenue. Well, that's... In
many of the companies that I've been in, if the primary salesperson leaves, the company will fold.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. So your company goes in and does what? It takes away that dependency?
Well, there's a number of structures you can put in place to support increased sales for the salesperson, but more importantly, give structure to what the salesperson is doing that's visible to the owner and why they want to know that. So if you're the owner of a company and you know what your salesperson is doing, then A, you feel comfortable that he's doing the right thing. Right. But more importantly, you know what activity leads to what revenue in what time frame, and then you can tell that salesperson, you can hold that salesperson accountable to do that activity. And next year, when you want to increase your revenue, you just simply increase your activity. Okay. And you can get greater gains from creating efficiencies in sales and some other things. But you as the owner, if you don't know what activity leads to what revenue in what time frame, you're out of control. Your business is out of control.
Got it. What makes a good salesman?
Well, That's a magical question, and I'll share with you what I have discovered over the years, which
Please.
seems to hold true in almost every instance.
Please, this is just between you and me. Nobody's going to be watching this.
I believe that, and thank you so much for not watching this, as I give away all of my secrets.
Why not?
So there are probably 3 primary characteristics of a great salesperson.
All right.
Okay, and the first one is drive. I want to win. I don't want to make you wrong. I don't want you to lose, but I have a game that I'm playing to hit a certain number by the end of the year, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to learn, to be effective, to be good at making that number happen.
That's drive.
That's an internal drive. Right.
All right.
The second one is intellect.
All right.
A salesperson has to understand their business inside out and backwards and their customer's business inside out and backwards to match up how their product supports the buyer's business. And when they know that, and when they can help the buyers understand that, then they're creating a solution for the buyer rather than overrunning them with their own agenda.
Drive, intellect, and what's the third?
A personality. You have to have a little bit of fun, otherwise what's the point? Why would you even want to talk to me if I didn't have some degree of engagement with you?
I like your hat.
Thank you ever so
You've
much.
got the personality. You ask me very good questions, so you have the intelligence, and certainly, if you're in this business, you have the drive. So you've got the 3 of them.
I hope so. That's what they're paying me for.
Please, yeah, I've got the 3. Please. All right. And so, what is, as an entrepreneur, right? How did you get started into this business?
So that's a big question. And when we first started talking about being here today,
Yeah.
you asked me that question, and it's really sort of a purposeful question for any entrepreneur ever. What's the why? What's the driving factor?
Right.
When life runs me over with a bus, why am I going to get back up instead of just laying there dead on the ground? Right? It's a great question. So it really forced me to think about this from a big perspective.
Oh, good.
To answer your question specifically, I got into this business because I recognized that salespeople are the greatest army of change agents in the world. Every day, salespeople wake up in the morning knowing it's their job to create change by choice and relationships by intention. And from that, they have to learn how to be effective. They are a never-ending learning group of people whose whole world is about making other people's lives better.
Michael, can you learn to be a salesperson, or are you born a salesperson?
Sure. You want more detail now, don't you? Well, the answer is yes, and it means both. And I think probably no child was ever born coming out of the womb saying, "I'm going to be the best salesperson ever." That doesn't happen.
Traits that, I mean, you just know this kid is going to be the best salesperson in the world.
I'll tell you how I got into sales. When I was maybe 5 years old, I would go with my mom on errands, and we'd end up in car auto repair shops or doctor's offices or whatever, and I would just talk to everybody in the waiting room around us. And my mom, after a while, would just look at me and say, "Son, we don't talk to strangers," right? And I think what happened was she just watched the faces of all the people I was talking to, and whoever I was annoying at, she finally stopped me, right? I think that's what happened. But I'm certain that my dad, when he hired me into my first ever sales position, recognized that I was gregarious and outgoing, and that's all that was presumptive for the need to be a good salesperson. Now, it's really not that at all. But that's what my dad thought when he hired me, and so I got hired into sales, and I didn't know anything, and he certainly knew nothing about sales management, which is probably the genesis of how I even got into this business in the first place.
Gotcha.
Okay, but the backslapping, glad-handing salesperson is really not the guy who's the sales guy you want. The characteristics I was talking about, intelligence, personality, drive, those are characteristics that matter. But there is a huge undersung group of people who are effective in sales that are misunderstood, and that's the lineal thinking engineering types or accounting types who make the transition into sales. And when they do that, when they overcome whatever internal sort of thing about being outgoing, when they do that, they end up being some of the most effective salespeople out there because they don't lose details.
You know who I think the most effective salespeople are? The storytellers.
Why is that?
Because we all love to hear a story. We all love to hear the background of the background. You asked me a question about this painting here,
Yes.
and I told you a story.
Yes.
And I saw you were very engaged and very, very, very attent
Yes.
to what I was saying.
Yes.
I wasn't selling you anything.
No.
Or maybe I was and you didn't know about it.
Or maybe you were, and I didn't know about it, which made it a good effort, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Michael Goodman.
Thank you so much.
Did you have anything else to say? I mean, this is your platform. I'm
Oh
sorry
gosh,
to cut you off.
I have tons of stuff I can share with you if you'd like.
Because you're a good salesman.
Right? One of the most important things I have to train people to do
Yes, sir.
is to make sure that they ask what's important to the person they're talking to,
Yes.
so that they don't overrun them with their own agenda.
Absolutely.
So is there anything else you'd like to learn from me? If I could give you the greatest secret ever on sales, would you like to know what it is?
Absolutely.
Give me a call. We'll talk about it.
See, that's the good salesman right there. With that, we're out.